One vet source says that 60% of dental disease is happening below the gum line. You can't see it coming, and by the time you do, you're looking at a vet bill with a comma in it. So here's what we're doing. I'm going to show you 3 things that actually work. They're going to be ranked by price, most expensive first. And I'm ending on the one that's only costing me $6. So stick with me because that's the one that I feed my own dogs. Think of your dog's tooth like a wall and the gum around it like the ground that is holding up that wall. Every day, some dirt lands on that wall. Let's call it plaque. If it's soft, all it takes is one wipe and it's off. But if you leave the dirt on the wall for a day or two, it becomes hard like cement. And that's referred to as tartar. Of course, once it becomes cement, wiping is not going to work. And that's precisely the part that's costing you money. That cement doesn't just sit on the wall. It creeps all the way down to the ground that's actually holding up the wall. When it makes it down there, it pushes the ground away from the wall. And that opens up a gap right down there at the base. You can't see the gap. It's below the ground line. That hidden gap right there is the one that's costing you $2,500 plus. See, the wall looks fine on the outside. That's until it falls right over. So here's how each fix either stops the gap from forming or scrubs it away before it could do any harm. So there's something called sodium hexametaphosphate. Let's just call it HMP so we don't get confused. It stops the dirt from ever becoming hardened like cement in the first place. It does it chemically by binding to what makes that dirt into cement or into tartar. The other mechanism I'm going to be talking to you about is chewing. Now, chewing doesn't stop the cement from forming. What it does instead is it's constantly scrubbing that wall so it doesn't allow the dirt to ever harden into cement. This happens every single time your dog bites down. Now, that's not just how I picture it. 3 separate studies back this up. One coated dry food and biscuits with HMP found it cut down on calculus formation. Meta-analysis found that HMP coated food dropped tartar buildup up to 80% in 28 days. A clinical trial with beagles found the same HMP coated biscuits significantly reduced calculus over the regular ones. Same ingredient, same results. 3 different studies. First solution is for you kibble feeders. If your dog eats kibble anyways, turn the bag over and look for HMP as one of the ingredients in the ingredient panel. I wanted to record this at Tractor Supply so I can show you the bag physically. However, you can only order it online at the Tractor Supply nearby me. This bag runs between $75 to $85, and that's for a 40-pound bag. Now, let me just be clear. I'm not a kibble proponent. You know, I prefer to feed either cooked or raw. But if you're already feeding kibble and you can't make a change, then all you need to do is make a change in bag, and it could save you money in the long run. You're not doing anything different. You're just changing the survival bowl you're feeding. The second option I can offer you is a dedicated dog chew. I'm referring to Dentee's Dental Dog Chew. By the way, they're not paying me anything for this. I'm just letting you know the ingredients that are there. If you find a similar to like brand that also carries it, by all means, have at it. However, Dentee's carries the HMP ingredient in it, and it brings 12 ounces for $19.57 plus tax at Tractor Supply. Keep in mind, that's a smaller add-on. That's not a full meal replacement, obviously. So if you're not ready to switch the bag, this is the cheapest entry point of the 2 I mentioned. Now, both of these work. I'm not knocking either one, but neither is what's in my dog's bowl. Here's what is. Remember the scrubbing mechanism? A study on raw bovine bone knocked out 88% of the calculus in just 20 days. Another study with 1,300 dogs found the same thing. Basically, more chewing material equals less calculus, less gum inflammation, and less bone loss. Hold on a minute. If bovine bone scrubs so well, why am I not just handing bovine bones to my dogs? Here's the catch. That 88% study used raw bovine bone, but bone that hard comes with a real risk. Studies show that the hardest chewed, beef bones and deer antler, are so hard they can actually crack your dog's teeth. So I need a chew that's hard enough to scrape the dirt off the wall, but soft enough to give a little instead of breaking the tooth. And that's where chicken quarters are right there in the middle spot. See, the bone gives so it cleans without cracking the tooth. That's why they're in my dog's bowl and beef bones are not. I already know what you're going to ask. How old does the dog have to be before I could give him chicken bones? I'm going to tell you what works for me. We only give chicken bones to pups that have already had their second set of teeth come in and they're above 50-pound threshold. If neither one of those conditions are met, then I would go with the chew. But that's just me and how we do it in my yard. Now, this option I've been using for the last 10 years. I find it to be more cost effective than the other two. Literally, I get a 10-pound bag of chicken quarters. The price has recently gone up to $5.92 for 10 pounds of chicken quarters. That's $6 for 10 pounds. Not only is it cost effective, I'm killing two birds with one stone. I'm feeding my dogs and I'm also preventing future dental issues that I have to end up paying money at the vet. Think about it. That's 60 cents for a pound of protein. It's also less processed protein than anything you got in that bag. I'm getting the same scrubbing those studies talked about at every single feeding. It's not once a day with a little treat on the side. That's every single meal. I'm not telling you to go feed raw. What I'm telling you is that's what worked for me. If you're interested in learning more on how to feed raw and how to transition your dog to raw, I have put together a playlist for you. So ranked priciest to cheapest, you have dental kibble, followed by dental chew, and then chicken quarters. And the cheapest one is the one doing most work for you every single meal. And this is the same logic I use to keep my dogs on Nuvet and NuJoint DS. It's one less gap in the routine. 13% off with AutoShip. I'll leave a link down below in descriptions. Now you have 3 ways on how to fight tartar and calculus, no matter how you feed. But here's what none of them solve. You see, clean looking teeth doesn't mean a healthy mouth. Disease hides below in the gum line. Most owners don't catch it until the breath changes. There's one sign your dog's already giving you. I'm breaking that down right here on this next video. It's been Raul from the Q. I'll be catching you right here.